So I read Emerald Twilight Part 1, The Past, and it's written by John Mars, and it is illustrated by Bill Willingham. And so when you first open the book, it's just a giant picture of Hal Jordan, and he obviously looks very painful, and he has his broken arm, and he looks like he's mourning something here, which looks like a doll, but it just shows that from the start he's in a lot of pain. And as you start to flip through, there's a big picture of just an empty landscape with smoke, there obviously used to be something there. And it's just talking about how he's dealing with the loss of his hometown and his family members, his friends, everything he grew up with was just demolished. And there's even some foreshadowing shown on this page with the green skyline. You can tell that something's gonna happen, and him being the Green Lantern, it gets you wondering. So as it goes on, we learn that he's been given a ring that will let him do anything in the world if he has the will to do it. And automatically, it leads the reader to think that he's going to try and bring back his hometown, because it even says in the novel that he's struggling so much that there's a hole in his heart where his town used to be. And so he starts by just bringing back his father. And again, we learn more about his backstory. We learn that he was very overlooked by his father growing up. And you can see that even now, he's around 40 when this is taking place. And you can even see the illustrator added gray hair to him just to really show the reader of how this is still affecting him even as an adult. And he's talking with his father, and his father's still not giving him the validation that he's looking for. He even talks to his mom. She just tells him to get over it and stay with the good memories of his father and not the bad ones. And obviously that doesn't make Hal feel any better about it. So then he decides he's going to use the power of the ring and try to work up as much will as he can to bring the entire town back. Almost turn back the clock to before the tragedy ever happened. Which may sound like a good idea in a surface level situation, but as you can see, he brought the town back, but none of it looks normal. It's all coated by green, so automatically you see that it's not as perfect as he had hoped. And all the people there, it's honestly, as you read, you realize it was more selfish on Hal's part, because he just brought everyone back so he could talk to his dad and get validation, and he's just bringing back all these people that died just for a split second, and it's almost like he brought back fake versions of the people. And if you really think about it, it's kind of an allusion to how people will hurt a big group of people just to get the validation that they need, because he's bringing back these people but not fully, and they're kind of locked in a state of talking about their deaths and everything, which really isn't a great thing. And in the end, you even see that yes, he gets to talk to his ex-girlfriend from high school, get the validation from her, but he will never get what he came here for, because you can see as he's talking with his father on this page, his father's about to say something good that he did, finally give him that validation that he's been looking for. But just as he starts to say that his son made a big accomplishment, the whole false reality that the Green Lantern has made just crumbles around him, and he's left with none of it, which really just shows that when you try to turn back the clock to something that you've lost, you can never fully get there. No matter what you do, because even though he had this ring that would give him the full power to do anything, he still couldn't get that validation that he's needed ever since he was young. And still, even with like the gray piece of hair, it's just a constant reminder that like it's still affecting him now that he's so old. And even when he did bring back the past, he still had that gray strip of hair. He couldn't actually turn back time and get to what he needed. And in the end of the story, he is caught by these people that kind of like guard the galaxy and make sure that everyone with these rings is doing the right thing. And obviously they have caught Hal doing something not very good because he brought back all these people just for the sake of himself. And in the end, they all like fell apart into the illusion that he had made. And so it really just goes to show that power is not a good thing. And a lot of people that have power end up using it selfishly. And I just think it's really interesting that in this story and in so many others in literature, it's a very common theme that people want to turn back the clock, especially in like books like The Great Gatsby and like Shakespeare's plays, and even in this modern Green Lantern story. You can never turn back the clock, even if you have all the power in the world, and trying to use that power for the sake of yourself will also never do good.